And you are listening to the new Super Sound Showcase, sponsored by Culture Fix here on WMBG. I am your host, Robert Hodge, and I am happy to welcome my special guest today, the Hamid Barbarji Quartet. Gentlemen, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Well, you know what? It is a pleasure anytime that I get to have truly first-rate musicians in this studio. And I will tell you that you have a lot to live up to, because my impressions of you in particular, because I met Hamid about a little over a year ago maybe, right. And he was in here doing a benefit for the music club, and we were promoting that actually on the show. And I was so impressed with you then, but you've gone on to do such great things on a world scale in South America and all over the place. And he has linked up with these other three musicians, and I know enough about you to know that you did not choose anybody that's not first rate. Am I right?
Right, yeah.
All right.
They're all
so
amazing.
We have these four gathered together today, and they are going to bring you some music, and it's all instrumental. You're going to get the chance to just groove out today here on the Super Sound Showcase, and we are excited. Now, Hamid, tell me a little bit about your history for those that don't know you. You're a fixture in clubs now all over the area, but where did you come from, and how did you get started in this area?
Well, I am from this area. Born and raised, and Williamsburg is so great because we have such a supportive community here. So when you're starting out as a young musician, there's a lot of support for everyone, that's performing. Mm-hmm. So I've been lucky enough to meet a bunch of amazing musicians and work with some amazing musicians in this area and surrounding areas, and just kept
Sure.
playing.
And another thing that makes you stand out amongst the crowd of musicians is you're a trumpeter. That's not common.
Right, yeah. There are not a lot of trumpet players in this area.
Mm-hmm. I actually had a one-year run in the 7th grade band. I had selected a trumpet. My lip was not having it. It was just like, this is really not fun for me. And after fussing for a few months, they finally handed me a baritone horn and said, "This will be better. You'll like this." But then it was marching season, and when they told me I was going to carry that big old thing around, I was like, "No, I'm not carrying this." So that was the year I became the drum major and picked up a big stick.
Okay.
And that was much better for me. But I can still play my scales. But you know what? I look at that thing with a little bit of sense memory, going, "Oh Lord." So more power to you if it's suited to you. Do you play other instruments or just trumpet?
Just trumpet. Trumpet.
Well, there's something to be said for specializing.
Yeah, well, the trumpet also has some cousins like the flugelhorn, but I don't really, didn't really count those as other instruments.
Okay, so aside from Hamid Barbarji, who we have on the trumpet, we have Jesse Katz, and Jesse is a supreme bass player. And he is really, Andrew Shields was your first partner, right?
Yes.
And everybody sort of knew about that band. And then we have Nick Davidson over here on drums, and we have David Robert. Was it Robert or Roberts? Roberts, okay. For some reason on my notes I didn't write the S. And I thought that doesn't sound right. So yeah, David Roberts. And I got to tell you, I think they are going to bring us some great music. And when I said, what are we going to play today? You told me you were going to play some funk.
Some funk.
That was not what I expected, but that's exciting. Is it all funk, or is there a variety of...
Two funk, one Latin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I like that. So you might want to make yourself a Latin cocktail and sit back in your favorite chair, because we're going to rock out today with these gentlemen. And tell me what you think is the most interesting thing about each one of these guys in your band.
Sure. I'll start with Nick, the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
Nick is one of the most inventive drummers I've ever met.
Nice.
And was fortunate to meet him.
Do you have a lot of patents?
No, I like having things
not that kind of
from me,
invention.
and then I know deep down in my heart that I'm the one that originated it.
What does he invent?
Well, he just has great intuition.
Okay.
So
nice. So you can anticipate everything.
Yeah, and when in the blues band that we play in together, they're
that's
no one wants to hear a shuffle for however long.
Right.
He does different things. He listens.
Nice.
So there's that. And Jesse Katz is just an amazing bass player.
I already said that. I want the most interesting thing about him.
The most interesting thing about him, he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Which is interesting because he's got on short sleeves.
Yeah.
Very clever. Okay, and what do we got about David over there?
David is just a very interesting person.
My, but there was so much said in that one little answer.
No, David is just a master at his craft.
Okay.
Just a master.
Well, that might be because he's already graduated from college, right?
I think he's been a master for a while, since before he graduated college.
Nice.
Definitely.
Okay. Well, I will take that as a glowing recommendation for your personnel. And tell us about the songs that you've selected today. What are we going to start with?
Okay, so we're going to start with a tune, an original tune written by Jesse here called 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was going to be original. That's fabulous.
They're all original.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, marvelous.
And then we're going to go to a tune, one of my originals, called A New York Deli Sandwich.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't eaten that. I'd kind of like to take that for real.
Yeah. And the last tune, the Latin tune, is really just no name yet.
Okay.
I used to call it David, because we played it together, but it still needs,
But make sure
needs some work.
question
The
mark
David
in
Project.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It's a good
interesting.
question.
Now, I'm curious, before we actually get into the music, since we've got this on the table, tell me what would prompt you to name a song New York Deli Sandwich?
Well, we were rehearsing it this morning, and
This morning
This
you
morning,
named it.
yeah, and David. These are brand new originals.
You just wrote them.
Brand new, all of them.
Well, this is a world premiere?
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, good
Pretty
heavens.
much.
You know, you're spoiling me now, because I love that when I get to say, this is the world premiere of a new song. I love that. Okay. So
And,
what happened? How did the deli sandwich happen?
Well, we were playing it, and we stopped, and David just said, "This reminds me of makes me feel like I want to listen to this while eating a New York Deli sandwich."
So you were right. He is a very interesting person.
Yes, he is.
All right. So, oh my. I've never played anything and had it make me think of a sandwich, but
And you
all
haven't
right.
lived.
I will trust you guys to evoke that sensory perception and make me want a sandwich when I hear that second tune, okay?
Sure.
All right. I'll count on you for that. Well, let's have the first tune. Let's see what we got, because I know my listeners, after all this chit-chat, y'all got to be at least curious about what's going to come out of this radio right now. All right. So, the Hamid Barbarji Quartet.
1, 2, 3.
like that. I like it a lot. And you know, one of the things that occurred to me, and I guess I should direct this to you since you've written it, Jesse. That is a lot of notes in a very compressed amount of time. Where does that, is that the way your composing brain normally works? I mean, that's a lot of music going through your head.
Right, yeah, it's just a pocket 16th note funk, I guess. I mean, it's kind of bizarre because it's like inherently simple, even though it's a lot of notes. It's kind of all right there, but it's a really hard thing to do, you know, and even we didn't do it as cleanly as we probably wanted to, but, you know, it's a tough thing. But it's very like Wolfpack inspired, which is like a great band. I don't know if you heard of them.
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, I have not only heard of them, but Corey Wong is going to be my guest on Saturday for an interview, and then he's actually going to be here in a few weeks in this studio performing. So I'm a Wolfpack. I'm up on everything.
I'll have to come by that. No kidding. Yeah. So I think that's some amazing music. But
so you're in good company. Sure. I don't interview anybody that's not great. Wow. But anyway, I do want to say this too. I've seen a lot of trumpet mutes. Never seen one that looks to be copper.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing that I've never seen?
Well, you know, it just, it's called a bubble mute.
Yeah.
It's basically a Harmon mute. You've probably seen a Harmon mute before. It's gray.
What made me laugh though is when I looked up for the first time and Hamid is playing a silver trumpet and he has a mute that's made out of copper in it. And the first inclination, and that, maybe this says too much about me, it looks like one of those mugs that they make the Moscow Mule in. And I thought, oh, he's got a cocktail up there. Anyway, no, here we go. So we are going to go to commercial. If you are looking at Facebook Live, we are streaming live from the studio. You're able to see as if we're on television. And we will continue to stream, even though the radio will go away for a commercial break for a few messages from our sponsors. And then we will be back with more of the Hamid Barbarji Quartet. We are having a great time on the new Super Sound Showcase, sponsored by Culture Fix on WMBG. I'm your host, Robert Hodge, and don't you go anywhere, because it's only going to get better from here. And we are back with the new Super Sound Showcase. I'm your host, Robert Hodge. This is WMBG, and our guest today, if you are just joining us, the Hamid Barbarji Quartet. Now, most of these guys are off doing school. They're in college, some at BCU, and one, Jesse, is down in Miami. And nice gig if you can get it. You're at the beach in between classes?
Right, wow.
Yeah, that'll work.
I can.
All right, so you know what? We are fortunate that the beautiful part of summer is that everybody flocks home, everybody's back in town, and we're able to have these young men in here doing what they do best, doing their beautiful music. So now we get to the exciting moment. Can you give me just a short drum roll? Bravo. And now we come to the unveiling of the world premiere of a New York Deli sandwich.
There it is.
That is the name of this song, and it was christened that this morning, so I am dying to hear it. And let's see if we can make everybody's mouth water, and maybe we can sell this to the New York Deli as a commercial jingle or something. Let's see what we can do.
1, 2, 1, 2.
somebody pass me some mayonnaise and a pickle, please? That was kind of cool. And you know what? The biggest correlation for me, actually, I actually kind of feel like that resolution in the last little measure there. It was like eating the last bite of the sandwich. It was gone. It was finished. I felt it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you. I understand it now. So that was fun. I had a good time. And I want to ask you, just from an artist's perspective, when you switch from the trumpet to the flugelhorn, what's the difference? What do you feel different when you play the flugelhorn?
Well,
Close.
you know, they're such different instruments, but they're also cousins.
Yeah.
So the fingerings are the same. However,
Is it an intonation thing that you're working on?
there's intonation. There's
Armature.
just overall more mellow. It's
Okay,
overall
yeah.
more mellow. So
Yeah.
it's, you can't really have that bite that trumpet will have,
Right.
especially with something copper.
Right.
It's just darker, which is why this cup mute,
Sure.
this bubble mute is
Uh-huh.
also, it's just a much darker sound.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Well, I learn something every day on the radio, and I always make sure that there's something I absorb, and that's a lot of fun. All right, so the last tune that we have, this is the Latin tune, right?
Yes.
So everybody should get up and choose their samba partner or whatever they're going to do, right? What kind of tune is this? Is it a samba or a rumba? What do we got? How does it classify? Or does it defy classification?
It kind of defies classification.
Okay.
I don't know what,
We'll classify it after we hear it
Falls
then.
in later.
yeah, I'm
Gotcha.
sure there's definitely a name for it,
All right.
It's got the clav.
Oh,
It
cool.
got clave, yeah.
All right, well, let's hear the Harmon Barbarji Quartet. And what's the name of the Latin piece?
It's still no name.
Oh, this is the one that, no name, that was just called David up until today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here it is. World premiere. Big ending too. Gosh, you know what? I liked all three of those songs, but I think that was my favorite. You were on fire over there on those drums.
Thank you.
And one time I turned around and you had one of the sticks backwards. That's a special technique, I guess. Does that make a meteor sound on the drum or something?
Now, basically what it is. There we go. So on the cross
For those
stick.
of you who can't see, he threw that one.
Yeah. So on the cross stick, I usually do it like that. So the meteor end, so that way. So then after that, I just get too lazy to flip it back.
Okay. So you leave out the gymnastics.
Yes, I leave out the gymnastics. I leave that for the real show. If you guys want to come in.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm impressed with you guys, and I thank y'all for making time and for being willing to come in today.
Thank you so much.
Because it's been a marvel to have you and to see you. And I tell everyone in my daily life, that I'm the luckiest guy in the world, because all the musicians that I love, they all come in the studio and they jam with me and we have a good time. And I feel like this is one of the better parts of my job. So thank y'all for doing this with me today.
Thank you so much.
And
Thanks
I hope
for
I'll
having us.
see you back.
Yeah, of
Go out
course.
and rock the world, and then come back
run your
and
music.
give us another report, okay? That is the Hamid Barbarji Quartet. So Nick Davidson and Jesse Katz, Hamid Barbarji, and David Roberts. And as always, my thanks to my production team here. And Jacob and CJ do a great job. You will find a professional video of this available on WMBGradio.com and on YouTube.com. And that, barring any unforeseen major disaster, will appear tomorrow. Because Jacob does great work and his turnaround time is so quick. So thank you for listening. Our thanks to Culture Fix, our sponsors, and to Steve and Jen and Shirley. We thank you all, as always, for your involvement with our show. And moving back to the music that you love, here is Natalie Cole with Pink Cadillac.